Do you like the idea of strategy games, but A, don't want to go through 5 mice a year trying to achieve enough clicks per second to power an entire city, and B, don't want to go through 300-hour campaigns just to notice that the first unit you bought actually created a chain reaction that led to your untimely demise? Then I've got you covered. Welcome to Mechabellum. Let me just preface this by saying I'm not a strategy game connoisseur by any means, precisely because of the reasons stated in the intro. So whatever I say about Mechabellum might very well apply to other games in the genre, and I'm just not familiar with it. With that out of the way, let's get to it. Mechabellum is a multiplayer strategy auto-battler. Unlike other competitive auto-battlers, Mechabellum revels in how much player agency it provides. Instead of asking you to respond to the randomness, it turns it on its head and makes it so everybody in a match is subject to the exact same conditions, may the strongest survive. Gameplay consists of rounds where you're tasked with unlocking and purchasing units, placing them around the battlefield, upgrading them with fancy gear and abilities, and just watch them march forwards to their doom. After each round, you're granted a fresh batch of money, rinse and repeat. Everything I described is fully controlled by the players, no chance involved. And that's pretty much the crux of what makes or breaks Mechabellum. You're not trying to react to an endless barrage of randomness and managing it. You're playing a constant game of lightning-fast rock, paper, scissors, but coat the paper in titanium to beat rock, but then you can also attach a jet engine to the rock to break through, all while scissors just wander around with flaming Gatling guns blowing shit up. I do feel this metaphor got a little away from me, but really, it is how it feels. Maybe you're building an army revolving around a giant flying warship, so you anticipate your opponent might overload on long-range snipers to take it down, so you preemptively build an armada of critter-like robots to overwhelm said snipers, but the creepers are demolished by a flamethrower behemoth, so you protect them with the shield on legs that can just end. It goes on and on and on and on. Keep in mind what I just described is the first order strategy, where you decide what to build. But it's not even close to the end of it. Where do you place all of this? Do you attempt to backdoor your enemy, making your frontline weaker but potentially buying enough time to amass a snowball of missiles that destructively blow everything from afar? And positioning is still not all. How do you specialize your units? Do you want your discardable useless grunts to survive a million hits and hold on just long enough for your hacker to turn the entire enemy team to your side? Or do you want them to not be so useless after all and create a wall of unending rifle shots that obliterate whatever is nearer? And do you think this is all? Of course not! Each unit has 4 possible upgrades you can purchase in battle, but you can customize that loadout with many more options from the pre-battle menu, which lets you either double down and go all in on a particular strategy, or bring a more balanced set of units that can adapt to many different situations. And to really drive this point home, you can get into a match with a very specific idea and execute it at will, just like your opponent. You're not at the whim of the randomness gods that may or may not bless you with the opportunity of making a swarm build, or a giants build, or a vanilla tanks at the front, snipers at the back build, or whatever else you might want to try. And I will keep going. Mechabellum strongly locks you in into any decision you make. Once you pay to unlock a unit, that's it, no refunds. Once you buy a unit, that's also it. Once you place a unit, you guessed it, that's it, that's where it will remain until the end of the game. Same for leveling up, unlocking new abilities, upgrading your units. Every single decision is permanent, so you better calculate accurately. This is what allows any semblance of counterplay without being worried that the battlefield will change drastically every round, and it opens the door to that unending cycle of rock, paper, scissors I mentioned earlier. It is super engaging, and it feels incredible to just have that perfect read and absolutely annihilate your opponent turn after turn after turn. It is all so unbelievably big-brained, and I'm so unbelievably bad at it. And I still have so much fun. Just to put this into context, I heard of Mechabellum the same week Baldur's Gate 3 released, and you might have heard of Baldur's Gate, it might very well be one of the best games of all time. And even then, I still found myself choosing Mechabellum over it, even while losing well over 3/4 of my games. I think it should also be noted how well the game executes its theme and fantasy. There's some real effort here to make the world come to life, including a garage setting where you can admire each unit to scale, complete with engineers constantly tinkering and going back and forth, and even the units themselves are filled to the brim with small details that sort of communicate how the inner workings of these giant behemoths might function. It is so unnecessary, but so cool, and it succeeds in making the game cater to multiple audiences. Hardcore professionals trying to climb up the ranks will hardly mess around with any of this stuff, but it is welcomed by noobs like myself that are in it for the high-tech futuristic theme and can marvel at the explosive action sequences. I honestly don't have many negatives to point to the game, other than it might die out eventually given its total reliance on multiplayer content. However, as of today, I have absolutely no problem finding people to play with at my very low rating. But for the game itself, it is what it is. It accomplishes its goals with flying colors. Balance issues where certain units or strategies are overwhelming are swiftly addressed and in very innovative ways, not just like, oh, this unit now deals half damage, so it's just completely botched forever. No, they come up with very interesting solutions to the problems. And this is all just in an early access product. I can't stress this enough. The game just hooked me so much it's hard to believe. I don't even play multiplayer games anymore. I'm not into strategy games, I never was. And yet, here I am, playing a premium multiplayer focused strategy game basically daily. Seriously, just give it a try. See ya.